Everyone here knows someone that suffers from depression. It's a common and crippling disorder that affects about 1 in 5 people. Current medications are inadequate. So inadequate that suicide rates across the country have increased and now surpass the total number of deaths caused by car crashes. Not to mention, the number of depression-related diagnoses has skyrocketed since the start of COVID-19. The CDC has referred to this as a mental health crisis. It's time to start treating depression effectively. For my PhD, I vowed to find a way to better treat this devastating illness. So first, let's talk about why current medications are so inadequate. There are two main reasons. The first is that it takes on average 6 weeks for these drugs to start working, leaving no therapeutic options for those that are severely depressed or suicidal. The second reason is that over 30% of patients are treatment resistant, meaning they don't respond to any of the medications on the market. Now, part of this problem stems from the fact that these drugs were invented decades ago, before scientists really understood how depression worked in the brain. But now, after these decades of research, we have a much better understanding of what's going on, and therefore, we can develop better therapeutics. And this is what brings me to talking about psychedelics. You've probably heard about them in the media, things like LSD, MDMA, or magic mushrooms. These drugs have been tested in human clinical trials and have been shown to rapidly reduce depression within hours, and they work in treatment-resistant populations. They work by strengthening the parts of the brain responsible for motivation and achieving your goals and focus, and dampening down other parts of the brain responsible for fear or depressive thoughts. Now, as promising as these drugs might be, they're still hallucinogenic, which means they're still dangerous. And with the prevalence of depression across the country, we can't exactly have all these people going around tripping on LSD. So, what I wanted to know is, do you actually need hallucinations in order to have a therapeutic effect? In other words, could you make a non-hallucinogenic version of a psychedelic? This is exactly what I did for my PhD. We made a library of compounds of non-hallucinogenic psychedelic analogs and tested them side by side their hallucinogenic counterparts. We found they both worked equally as well and rapidly after treating. And sometimes the non-hallucinogenic version actually worked better. It's time to start treating depression effectively, and I am changing the way that we can do this so we can all get the happiness that we deserve.